So, how doodly do, neighbours, fellow guitar fans, how are you? Okay, so lots and lots and lots of hot beverages and an hour and a half's worth of TV, and this is what we've got. Nice and silky smooth, pretty good to be fair. Now, what you'll notice is, you see where the big blobs were and obviously where your lines were and stuff like that. Now, you're never going to get rid of the lines 100%, never, it's not going to happen. You want to do that, then you're going to have to replace the fretboard and do all this kind of stuff. But I suppose if you're new to a fretless guitar, then these could be quite handy. Obviously, don't forget you've still got your fret markers on the side, on the front, and a rough idea, because they're not very forgiving. So it is nice and smooth. It's cool. But what you'll notice is I've actually stained the fretboard in certain places, and this might happen to you as well. You can't really control that. Basically what it is your fretboard is incredibly porous at this moment in time. Not so much of a big, I mean, if you're not really bothered, that's fine, but I'm going to show you a quick tip of what to do. Because your fretboard's been sanded and it's been porous and stained, basically, glue's gone in here. One option, you can go all the way up your neck with some cheap crap, watered down, basically what you've used here, nail glue or super glue or something. Doesn't take a lot, believe it or not. All you're trying to do is stain this wood, and then basically you can knock the top off. You know, all you're trying to do is stain it back to, or hide this as much as you possibly can. There is another way, slightly cheaper way, because that could probably take two things and you'll have to buy that. Now, what I've done here is I have mixed a mixture of PVA glue, wood glue, and a tiny bit of water to make it spread a little bit easier. And what we're going to do here is, because it's so porous at the moment, we're just going to rub this on, and then we're going to leave it to dry. And hopefully what you'll find is all of the bits that aren't stained will take some glue and go that slightly bit darker. Then you're gonna, yes, I'm sorry about this guys, but it's sanding time again. Just to knock the top off, like I said, all you have to do is dyeing. I mean, if you are the kind of person that does woodwork quite a lot and you're doing this and you've got some dark stain or something that you want to use, then by all means, you know, give it a go. Just rub some stain in there, leave it to dry, and then buff the rest off, and that should do the same thing. But I don't have any stain at this moment in time, I don't have any. So what we're going to do is we are going to rub this solution on. It has to be pretty watery, it's fine, but just try and cover it as best you can and then wipe the excess off. All you want to do is the glue to cover the fretboard. You can see down here, it's, you know, it's all nice and smooth. Some of the high spots you can see. So we're going to do that. I am personally, after I've sanded it, I am going to lacquer it and give it just a rough coat of lacquer just to protect it a little bit, make it look a bit nicer. If you were doing this on a maple neck, then you would obviously want to replace that, or if you want to go for the road worn look, you could just sand it and leave it, and then it'll go all dirty and road worn. That's entirely up to you. You can take the cover off. I like a little bit of a silky smooth fretboard myself, so that's what I'm going to go for. So I'm going to show you that route. If you've got a rosewood fretboard like this, then yes, you're going to have to buy something if you don't want to do what I'm doing. You can buy something called gunstock oil, which basically comes in a pot. It's about this big off eBay, and you put a little bit on and it goes a really long way, and you rub it in, leave it, and then buff it back off again, and it just absorbs into the wood. And then you do that once every 3 months or something, and it just makes the wood nice and shiny and nice to play on and stuff like that. But that's buying stuff, and I'm too cheap to do that. So let's get on. Let's see if I can get my really small big sponge in my really small glass. Make sure you get the excess off. You don't want to soak this. What you do want to do, however, is cover this. And see the glue on the edge there. You know, with the grain, yet again, down, and again. Don't worry about that blob, we'll get that in a minute. All the way down. And all the way down again. Knock that excess off. Just catch it from around you. Try your very best to catch it down the sides as well. One really annoying thing that you're not going to have to do is sand off or try and chip off any glue that's gone down here or on the back of your neck or anything like that. I've been pretty good. I've been pretty lucky actually. I've not done anything. I've not managed to destroy the satin finish on the back of this neck. Just be careful. If you're a bit unsure, put a bit of tape on. I've splashed out actually. I've got two. Yes. A little bit further. I actually have two tea towels now. My missus was nice enough to give me one. Give me another one. A tea towel, that is. I'm spending too much time making this video for anything else. So that's on there. I know it doesn't look much, but what do you want to do when that's dry? It might be a bit lumpy, bumpy or bubbly. Get your sanding out, but you only need to use a finer grit this time. You don't have to start from 100 grit. You just want to take off the excess, and like I said, all you're trying to do is dye it a little bit more. What this stuff, while it's wet, also does is it gives you an idea of what it's going to look like when it's either lacquered or oiled. So as you can see, it is not too shabby. I mean, what have we paid for here? Well, I haven't paid for anything, I've got it all, but if you're going to do this, a couple of assorted tools, a bit of time, a couple of kitchen sponges, some sandpaper, everyone's got that in the garage, some PVA glue, and some nail glue, you know, and you haven't even paid for the nail glue probably or something. You nicked it off your missus. So next time she goes out, she's going to wonder where it is, but hey, never mind. So, like I said, unfortunately, it's hot beverage time. Getting excited now. I think it's quite good. Next one, we're going to, I'll show you a bit of taping up, and we will lacquer up a little bit. Like I said, this might not be good for you. You might be starting to oil up, but you know, just bear with me, and then we'll get to the bit where we start looking at the nut. So we're going to have to attach it to the body, obviously, because we have nothing. You know, I'm not going to show you. I'll show you. I'm not going to show you how to do that. I think everyone knows how to attach the guitar to the body. 4 screws on the back there, and then string it. You know, I'm not going to show you how to string it either. You know, I think you guys can kind of figure that out. But what I will show you is maybe how to do the setup, things like that. You know, things around the house that you can use to get a nice action. You know, the action on one of these is going to have to be a lot lower, so it's going to be silky smooth. It's going to be awesome for people that play maybe slide, or you know, just basically interesting things. What I will actually say is you have to be more precise when you're playing. And the reason for that is obviously, if you look here, look, rock on. Anyway, 2 frets there. Yeah, it doesn't matter where you fret it really within those, because those barriers themselves stop the string. So when you're playing without fretless, or without fret should I say, if I'm up here, you know, I'm going to be flat, I'm going to be sharp, I'm going to be flat. If I'm going to be up here, I'm going to be sharp, so you want to make sure that you get it in the middle. But once you actually do get used to doing it, they're a joy to play, really. So this is going to start drying now, and then I will sand it off. You all know how the technique for that goes right now, and I will see you on the next video. Yeah, look after yourselves. Peace out, people. Okay guys, so I have worked my way up basically, like I said I was going to do, from 100 grit sandpaper and worked my backside off right the way up to about 1200 grit, to the extent where I wet sanded. Wet sanding is with this stuff. You get it from an automotive shop. Just so happened that I had quite a bit left over from when I did the car. And the difference is obviously sanding, you just sand normally. Wet sanding, well, it does exactly what it says on the tin. Basically put it in some water, leave it to soak for about 20 minutes and come back and then rub over. Now what that basically does is it shows you any imperfections. It gets a pretty good shine on it, actually, to be fair. I guess that glue did some job anyway. It's done pretty well. Next job, basically what I have done is, if you notice, I have taped up around the neck, over the top of the nut, because I don't really want to do it. I'm not really doing a lot on this because it's self-explanatory. What I've actually found is, if you've got a, see if we can get some focus here, if you've got a rosewood neck, try and get your line halfway up the black. Yeah, you tape halfway up the black. You don't want to be going onto the satin or onto your gloss finish on the back. And then basically what I'm using is, I'm just using a normal kind of car spray paint. I know some people are going to be going absolutely mental here, but it's hard wearing. Basically what you're trying to do is just give it a nice 3 or 4 light coats, and then, because you're going to buff most of that off anyway, basically all you're trying to do is give it some sort of protection from anything like that. Try and make it as smooth as you can. So I'm going to go off and do that, and I'm going to let it dry, and I'm going to come back to you guys, and I expect you to do your homework and be following this and doing it as I do it. And then we will see what we can do. I'll take you on to the next step. Okay?